Hello, good morning, and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denise Apomaije. We begin from the northern region. We will hold everyone accountable. The pledge of John Dramani Mahama, as he serves notice that a future NDC government will punish all government officials found to have abused their office. The NDC says it's ready to assume the reins of power after the December elections. Speaking to a large crowd of NDC supporters at Jubilee Park in Tamale, where the NDC launched its national campaign, John Dramani Mahama urged the youth to vote massively for NDC, assuring the party has competent men and women who are capable of turning the fortunes of the economy around.
This is our last opportunity to save our democracy. Our youth have lost faith in our democracy. If you read the Afrobarometer survey, you'll find that trust in democracy is at its lowest in our history. And this is our last opportunity to salvage our democracy. So it is not going to be business as usual. For those who wish to serve in the new administration, know that you're coming to serve in an administration of modesty. You're coming to serve in an administration of honesty. You're coming to serve in an administration of hard work. And you're coming to serve in an administration of accountability. And so as we hold the previous government accountable for wrongdoings, if you serve in the John Mahama government, the next John Mahama government, if you are accused of wrongdoing, you will also be punished and held accountable. Because it is going to be, as they say in the Akan language, Aba yedibo techino, enwa en yedibo bang. And so if you want to serve in this administration, you must be prepared to be accountable. We're going to launch our manifesto next month in August, before the end of August. And we're launching it in Central Region. So Central Region, when you go back, start preparing. We're coming to launch the manifesto. And when we launch the manifesto, there are a lot of interesting things there. We will spell out the blueprints that we intend to pursue to change the fortunes of our country. But let me just mention a few, and I think Nana did. Our women are the majority of our population. And our women dominate the commerce, trade, agriculture, agro-processing sectors of our economy. And yet sometimes our mothers and our sisters need just 1,000 Ghana cedis to be able to use as capital for their business, and they are not able to get it. And that is why Nana said, we're going to set up a National Women's Bank. It is going to have its branches in the markets, in all the places that women do business. Your bank, your women's bank is going to be there. And it will be responsible for giving you small credit so that you can grow your businesses and be able to look after your families. We are going to work hard to remove the obnoxious double track system. So that all our children can go to school at the same time and close from school at the same time. We don't want the situation where our children come home and stay home for 4 months before they go back to school. And so we're going to improve the free SHS. We're going to sit with the teachers and the parents and all the stakeholders, and together we will forge an implementation plan that will make the free SHS better. We're going to improve health care. And in our 2020 manifesto, we talked about the introduction of primary health care. When the manifesto is put out, you'll see the provisions that are there for primary health care. We're going to uncap the NHIS. Currently, this government has capped the NHIS and is taking some of the NHIS money into the consolidated fund. And that is why when you go with your NHIS card, the hospitals are reluctant to serve you because they don't refund the claims that they make.
Let's stay a while on elections because members of the Nkranza Youth for Lodina Mahama are accusing the ruling New Patriotic Party of deceiving affected victims of the defunct DKM microfinance company. This comes after the chief executive officer of DKM, Martin Dele, was seen in a viral video with the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, during his tour of the Upper West region. A spokesperson of the group, Mustafa Mohammed, at a press briefing in Nkranza said Martin Dele used funds belonging to the affected victims in supporting Dr. Bawumia's campaign and called on all to vote against the NPP in the December polls. Anna Sabit has more.
It will be recalled that prior to the 2016 general elections, the collapse of some Ponzi microfinance schemes in the Brong-Ahafo enclave led to the death of many in the Nkranza municipality and its surrounding communities. One of these Ponzi schemes, precisely DKM, was alleged to be owned by the then First Lady Lodina Mahama, who is a native of Nkranza, and these allegations contributed to the defeat of the NDC in both presidential and parliamentary elections in the area. Nearly 8 years down the lane, the chief executive officer of the defunct DKM, Martin Dele, is seen in a viral social media images with the NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during his campaign visits to the Upper West region. This, according to members of the Nkranza Youth for Lodina Mahama, is a vindication that the former First Lady was clean of the allegations leveled against her.
In the first place, the NPP made a lot of political capital in the then Brong-Ahafo, peddling lies and propaganda that the defunct DKM was collapsed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and depositors' money were being used to fund the NDC's campaign in the year 2016. On the 3rd February 2016, the NPP Minority Caucus in the Brong-Ahafo staged a press conference in Techiman, which was read by Honorable Kwaku Agyeman-Manu, MP for Doma Central, lying that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and our incoming First Lady were involved in these Ponzi schemes, which included DKM. The good people of the then Brong-Ahafo accepted the lies and voted with anger against the NDC because the NPP promised refunding monies of DKM customers to them.
Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, Mustafa Mohammed, who addressed the press, revealed that despite efforts made by the NDC government to retrieve monies belonging to affected customers, the NPP rewarded persons who spearheaded the Ponzi schemes after supporting Nana Addo's campaign.
The NDC, with the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, started processes leading to refund of monies locked up with the Ponzi schemes. Unfortunately, the John Mahama-led administration lost power in the 2016 general elections. Persons who spearheaded these Ponzi schemes and used the funds in supporting Nana Addo campaign were rewarded. 1. Alex Jan, MPP MP for Kintampo South, was the manager for God is Love. He was rewarded as DCE for Kintampo South in 2017 when Nana Addo won power. Former MP from Nkranza North, who doubles as former Deputy Minister for Defense, Derek Odro, a.k.a. Dero, took over Jasta FM and turned it to Dero FM.
The group further expressed shock at the turn of events with the CEO of DKM seen supporting the campaign of the New Patriotic Party.
In fact, Martin Dele is the chief financier of Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia campaign, as was seen donating funds to Bawumia's campaign in the Upper West region.
And now away from politics, Joy News investigations have uncovered how customs officials take bribes to allow traders to transport smuggled goods from neighboring countries. These officials take bribes as little as 20 cedis to allow traders to have evaded who have evaded taxpaying, I beg your pardon, to transport their goods across the borders. In our latest Hotline documentary, Porous Borders, investigative journalist Kwete Nate reveals how the country's inland borders are becoming a hotbed for the transit of smuggled goods.
We have driven through several checkpoints with these goods without tax stamps from Aplau through to Dabala to Segakope without being flagged. Our movement through these checkpoints was smooth until the customs officials in her mid-30s flagged us to stop at the Sugakope checkpoint. The investigative team assumed this customs official who stopped us was to inspect these goods would get us to pay taxes on the assorted drinks. But we were in for a shocker. She demanded the team pay a bribe of 400 cedis. She allowed us to pay 200 cedis after some minutes of negotiations. I have succeeded in meeting one of the smuggling kingpins in Elubo, who identified himself as Error. For every box of rice he brings from Ivory Coast to Ghana, he charges 20 cedis. It is this amount he pays off to customs officials he works with to facilitate his business. If he can transport 500 bags of rice to Elubo, he will earn 10,000 cedis.
Me charge best, and you ever say be about 300, no 320. In the meantime, ne dear, me share 500 bags. It's me draw no match The customs one and see a very modern. I know the 20 cedis in man, me 20 cedis. No problem.
The investigative team decided to test these claims made by the traders and commercial drivers. We bought several boxes of rice from neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire. At the Elubo border post, this customs official, who was identified as Kujo, allowed our boxes of rice bought from La Côte d'Ivoire into Ghana. We did not pay the statutory taxes. When the team got to the customs checkpoint at Samir, our vehicle was inspected by two customs officials. They asked me to follow them to their office. They demanded I paid a bribe of 20 cedis and left me to go with the boxes of rice.
So I'm going to use it to celebrate small S-man.
What do you have?
Rice.
How much?
3.
You are going to use it.
I'll just come to my pastor. And then other people.
If you play to one.
We are in the festive.
The driver should know better.
I think
he fix you. He informs you the nitty-gritty. I'll dash you one and pay for the two.
The two, how much will I pay? 20. Thank you very much.
Here's the book for me to read.
Hey, thank you very much.
My number is 11.
I thought you were coming to give me receipt.
Oh. But the receipt when you pay the duty.
Ah,
the duty is one by 170.
Oh.
Well, away from that, the distant spring at the base of the Mampong scarps in the Ashanti region has served the Nintin and Shidiem communities for the longest time they have existed. Every morning before dawn, the pupils of Shidiem MA and Nintin RC basic schools begin a demanding journey trekking miles, enduring exhaustion and disrupted sleep before accessing the ground for water. In the Safe Water series, Clinton Yeboah spends a day gauging the dire water crisis and the implications on residents.
Waking at dawn, basic school pupils of Hwidiam MA Basic School begin their day hours before most of their peers. At 4 a.m., they begin a vigorous exercise not to steady, but to scoop water from a distant spring at the base of the Mampon Scarp. So far from the township, about 40 minutes from the Hwidiam township, this has been a daily fright of students and of residents because daily they have to journey through these bush and areas to have access to water, despite the dangers that may come. The over 135 pupils in the community bear the brunt of exhaustion from their cut-off sleep and early morning treks of long miles, while the far-reaching access to water repels teachers from staying in the Hwidiam community. Head teacher of Hwidiam MA Basic School, Ajiman Kwame, narrates how the tiredness impacts students who work.
What it means is that they come to school already tired because they didn't have enough rest, and when they came to school they were already tired. So teaching and learning affects the assimilation. For those who wait till daybreak before fetching water, they either come to school very late or they decide not to come at all. As a result of the water situation in the community, the teachers in this school do not live in this community. They stay in Mampon, so they commute from Mampon to this town on a daily basis.
Flowing quietly through a natural exit point, the groundwater beneath the scarps at Hwidiam emerges from the aquifer, flowing onto the top to become surface water. So after a frantic journey and process to get to this area, what you see is water dripping from corners and centers of this rock. And just as you can see, you can barely see water dripping enough for people. But like this gentleman, this has been a major water supply for the people of Hwidiam. I meet a lot of people here, and I don't leave early. I join very, very long queue every morning. I can spend like an hour here.
How much time?
To spend it 1 hour per hour.
The underground water lies bare without shade, allowing for more pollution from animals and erosion particles. Kwame Inti was seen washing from the same spot of the running water. He says the journey to the place is too far, and like many others, he cannot fetch and wash at home at a vigorous context in queues to get water.
Nah, say person so for ban pay ada more village now has in
neighboring communities also join us, so our numbers are huge, mostly in the morning. Sometimes you have to fight your way through. The situation gets similarly dire at the adjoining community, Nintin. The Nintin water source seems to be oozing from the ground into a naturally created platform where school kids scoop with their cups. I'm not even sure I have words for the type of water source that this is, but yes, these are kids and students of Nintin trying to scoop as much as water that they may need. Because having to wake up so early in the morning the next day and join queues in order to have access to water may be something that they find frantic. And so they are trying to save time by coming here after school and save enough water for the next day. They recount missing academic tests due to lateness from enduring long queues. We are always late for school and we miss class tests. This is why we are here at this time. The issue extends beyond the school grounds. The linguist for the Hwidiam Queen Mother, Yapedu, expressed concern about the broader implication of the situation, particularly for women. Old folks can't fetch water. They have no help. We suffer a lot as women, combining this stress with farming. It is also important to note that the Kofor gallon is one of the valuable assets in households of Nintin, because without it, you have no container to save water for the next day. For those seeking cleaner, pipe-borne water, the infamous yellow container of 4 gallon has become the only option, with a gallon costing 2 cedis. Each household need about 30 gallons per week to survive, significantly straining their finances. The gallon is 2 cedis, and we pay 60 cedis for 30 gallons, and it barely takes my household past 2 days.
It's 600.
The prices also keep rising. The barrel that takes us for a week has increased in price. The Nintin Electoral Area Unit Committee Chairman Peter Mensah supplies the 2 communities with pipe-borne water from the Mampon Township. He says this is the only survival strategy for the community.
It's true here, because we buy it there, so you have to pay us for us to go and buy the water there and bring it to you. So if you don't have money here, you can't get water here. That's the only major problem here.
The assembly member of the Nintin electoral area, Nicholas Oseiwusu, is calling for urgent assistance. He disclosed that engineers have identified suitable sites for drilling pipe-borne water, which would alleviate the crisis.
It's giving room for open defecation, and it's a common phenomenon when you come to Nintin. And when we visited the water source, you saw for yourself it's within a slopy area, and so when they defecate in the nearby bushes and it rains, the runoff, it drags the feces along. So all these materials also contaminate the source. That also becomes our source of living, because they say water is life. And so the situation here is dire. Even though it's a basic necessity, and we are in dire need of it, sustainable potable water, but government is unable to provide as we wish. So we are asking the multinational companies, NGOs, local and international, please come to our aid. Nintin and Tridium, we are pleading with you. Now we have employed some people from KNUSC who have helped us to locate exactly where we can get water whenever we dig. So when you come, we are not going to wander around just like it used to happen, and eventually we will not get water. But this time, when you bring your money to help us, we are going to take you directly to where you can sink and get enough water that can sustainably help us. All we need for now is mechanized borehole that can serve the needs of the community.
It was so adventurous coming to Hwidiam and Nintin electoral area in the Mampon municipality, but all the adventure has been about the dire crisis of water. Lives are at risk, so is the future of many young people. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
From water, let's go to mining, where the Ghana's Inspectorate of Mines is advocating continuous safety practices in the mining areas to guarantee the safety of mine workers. Chief Inspector of Mines Richard Kofi says accidents at the mining area should be reduced to the barest minimum by consistently educating and training miners on best safety practices. He was speaking at the Intermines First Aid and Safety Competition at Ayamfuri in the Central Region. There's more in this report.
The Chief Inspector of Mines, Richard Kofi, emphasized the need for safety to be a watchword of everyone, especially workers at mining firms.
Minerals Commission, we have a wing, a technical wing known as Inspectorate Division of Minerals Commission. And our job is to make sure health and safety permits in the mine, so that, mining is very hazardous. So we should organize some of this competition just to create the awareness for the communities and for the mining workers as well. So the communities, we are bringing them in because we operate within a community. So whatever we do in terms of health and safety, they should also be aware. So that, for instance, when somebody is injured in their house, they themselves can treat that person before he's sent to the hospital for medical care. Yeah, what we do is that, for instance, this is an example. We do organize workshops for both the mining companies and the communities, but we do it on a quarterly basis. So these are some of the things that we are doing to help the community to bring their mines on safety.
General Manager of Persas Mining Ghana Limited, Daniel Ejamensa, explained why the company is hosting such a competition.
It was an honor for us to host this important event. And we all know safety, the role safety plays in our operation. It's a top priority of our values. So we welcome occasions like this where the mining companies and the communities will all, put what they've learned on safety into practice, and not only improve their performance in the company, but also as the community. We all know that this is it's preparing the individuals to respond to any emergencies, and I'm particularly happy about the community involvement in it. As we all saw in the demonstration, it was very impressive, the attitude and then the responses that went with all the scenarios. So it gives me a lot of joy to host this company, and I'm looking forward to hosting more in the future.
An environmental consultant to the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Nana Ando, says the safety issues in the mining areas have generally improved.
Some years ago, people didn't want to do work in the mining industry because it was too dangerous. People were just dying. Now, if you go to the mining and you look at the safety record, yes, that's why a lot of people are asking or requesting to be employed, because the safety record is very high now. And it's all because of all these programs that the chamber has planned. Normally we give them a topic on mining to write. For example, today's topic was about how they see the mining companies' contribution to communities, and that is very good.
The teams that competed in the Intermines First and Safety competition were Anglo Gold Ashanti, Toronto Gold Mines, Asanko Gold Mines, and Newmont Ghana Gold Mine, Ahafo Mine.
Now, the Odwe Kese family of Obosmase in the Ekuapem South District of the Eastern Region has issued a stern warning to individuals claiming ownership of their lands in Dodowa, Apollonia, and other areas to cease activities or face the consequences. Newly installed head of family, Openyi Emmanuel Oparisewe, gave the warning during his inauguration ceremony in Obosmase. My colleague Maxwell Kudeko was at the ceremony and has come through with this report.
Openyi Emmanuel Oparisewe expressed concerns over individuals claiming ownership of the Odwe Kese lands. He cautioned those involved in land grabbing to desist immediately, warning that the family would take drastic measures to protect their interests if they fail to comply.
Michel Bo, see, say, pray to her mind, what the woman and a pray. That I'm now you see now, na Odwe Kese, a queen, Nimujani, and some of us to you, and to miss a way. Maybe the day, me share my master CBI in Irakwa. No be no baby, no say higher mede or higher medea. All Paco no once in who would Kese your office. I will do her. Yens as the same now, Ubi, Hiya, Bunguya war. Ubi or Tias as Bisu, what about Musa for Henny? Now, all my name the near Nimon and the unfanasem. If say, Ubi Kese Bushan and nobody remember Triano. Me share my Sasaba Brian. That's as I say, Biara, Yabepenaka. Own Pacoso, who was out to Ubi Kese Sasso. Now, first of all, when the answer what to say, when I see Busapan for Bankasa to Anamona Bra. Now by China would be Castle, yeah, some dreadful. Yet, yes, I Basa Basa. Some Musa was a woman. Now we see who they are. What about to Merima?
Lead manager of the Odwe Kese family land, who had the power of attorney to represent the family in all land matters, Alhaji Nuru Salidin, stressed that the 5 family gates are united in this matter. He urged individuals who have taken the law into their hands to desist from unlawful land grabbing and follow due procedures in acquiring lands from rightful owners.
Now, one who said the 5 gates are all here in unity. So Odwe Kese is based on foundation of unity. And going forward, they are property to they are united. And legally it is registered. As they have said, they have their office. baby, just walk to the office and negotiate. Enterprise now and investors, but they don't go through the due process of buying land, creating programs in the system. Should stay out.
A principal member of the Odoi Kese family, who double as the Asaman Kese Enum chief, Osaberi Ma Esa Kwesi Bediakon, congratulated the newly installed family head and urged him to continue the family's heritage, ensuring unity and peace in the family.
A my side na woman obosmanse aye wo bibi say a man no India di ntinu aya ye twa mo bo no o make sure say ne mresu bibia e beye me papa nhye ya o ye to ho a okwabusapanyi pass abusapanyi say ma 3 gate ni na ye koma bo ma ye o 1 na emema na stand as 1 gate no mesre ni say o man fa saade no enya adwuma na se bibi ketua bi kra na beba ya chemu miensa e de ma ne de na ye den e de amom.
Maxwell Kudeko report for Joy News.
Oh, it's now time for business updates with Benjamin Akapo.
On now to our business update this morning. And the business community is asking the government to make a conscious effort at making the business environment friendly to thrive. According to Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akabwa, the cost of borrowing is negatively impacting their operations, thereby making them uncompetitive. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Akabwa stressed the need to consolidate the business climate with a cheaper cost of borrowing.
As long as we haven't come down on the policy rates and we continue to keep it at this high level, then it's going to affect borrowing rates. There's no doubt about it. Even though there's that appetite for borrowing, the interest cost is a major, factor that is prohibiting growth in lending. In terms of nominal figures, it may, I will not doubt that, but what kind of borrowing has picked up? If it's the short-term borrowing, then it is going to the usual trading and service sector. But for industries, borrowing at 30-something%, 32, 35%, to do long-term business, the kind of business industries want to do, which is investing long-term, you need a much lower interest cost to be able to do that kind of business. So it may have picked up, but we have to actually analyze the data and see the sectors that the interest and the lending is picking up. If it's picking up in the industrial sector, that would have been very good. If it's picking up in the agricultural sector, it means the productive sector is growing. But I don't think that is the situation, and that's where we need to really analyze. So it may have picked up, but is it being picked up by the productive sector? For me, that is very important. All right. At least some stability has been achieved, some consolidation of the stability is important. But we need to go beyond consolidation to growth.
Oh, thank you, Benjamin, for bringing us business updates. My name is Denise Apomaide. Up next is News Review.